Welcome, welcome to the Vision Workshop. I am so beyond thrilled you're here. We are going to have a time together of transformation. And even in my last career as a wardrobe stylist, I wrote this book, The Angel Method, on how to build a fabulous wardrobe. And before I got it published, I was thinking to myself, there's something missing. And what was missing was the chapter on transformation, about getting your gorgeous on the inside first. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to get that gorgeousness on, step back into the power of your truth and authenticity, aligning with that point of power that's within you, so then you can go out and actually attract all your divine abundance that's already out there waiting for you. That sound good? Absolutely. So let's move on. So I am Janice Bussing. I am a life mastery consultant and a dream builder coach. My company is Life Mastery 24/7. And I am changing lives one soul at a time. I'm also in partnership with Mary Morrissey. She's one of the top global thought leaders in transformation, and also the founder of the Life Mastery Institute, which is the #1 transformational coaching center in the world, where I hold my certifications. She's also the founder of the Brave Thinking Institute. So what Mary did for the last 50 years, she has been studying the art and science of happiness and success. She's also been working with other top global thought leaders around the world: Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, Wayne Dyer, Michael Beckwith, Bob Proctor, Marianne Williamson. And she's collected all of her information, wisdom, education, and work, and put it into these success programs, these repeatable, reliable, uh, amazing, profound programs that I teach through my company. And I absolutely love to see the quantum leaps and the transformation that happen with all my clients. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. You will receive new clarity on your truth and authenticity. You will have a new understanding of how to create powerful results in your life. You will receive greater clarity on what your dreams are. And then you're going to receive 3 of the principles from the Dream Builder program, which is my foundational program, and that will help you achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you can possibly imagine. Doesn't that sound fantastic? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little history on dream building first. All right. So we've all seen this quote a million times, right? Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you've imagined. Well, this is what's really interesting. This quote actually comes from very famous essays from back in the mid-1800s. So back in the mid-1800s, there was a gentleman who loved to bring people from all over the world together to just have deep conversation about life, how to expand and live life to its fullest. And this gentleman's name is Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson was a big thinker and just really, really loved to almost have masterminds every single week at his house. Well, he also had a handyman who wanted to be part of these conversations. And Emerson's like, you know what? I can't be having my handyman in on these conversations when I'm having people from all over the world. And what he said to him, though, is, I'm going to allow you to sit outside the parlor door and listen in. So after a few weeks, that handyman could not hold back any longer. And that handyman ended up throwing ideas and concepts into the mix. And everybody was like, fine, you're one of us. Come on. And this gentleman's name is Henry David Thoreau. Yes, Thoreau was also a big thinker about life. And one of his first quotes is, I want to suck the marrow out of aliveness. Isn't that just fantastic? Oh, it makes me come more alive. And so what ended up happening after a few weeks, Thoreau was like, you know what? I'm so tired of just talking about this. I want to put all of these thoughts into action. So he decided to go to a pond. Yes, Walden Pond, and get into conscious action and thought for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. So during this 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, this is what he came up with. I have learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of their dreams, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One begins to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. What this is a code to life. Once you truly understand this as a code to life, the universal laws come and work with you, through you, and as you, and help you create a life you absolutely love living. So what we're going to do today is take this apart so you can understand this code to life to the next level. Okay, here we go. So the experiment, I have learned that if And this is what I know for sure, is that our soul is on an upward spiral of growth at all times if you choose to listen to it. You can live 90 years or you can live 1 year 90 times. What are you going to do with this incredible gift called life? If one advances confidently, okay, we all have a light switch in our house, correct? You can't see electricity, can you? No, but you will advance confidently towards that light switch, flip it on, and expect to get electricity. Yes? Yes. Now that's exactly what I want you to do with your dreams. You can't really see your dreams, but I want you to advance confidently towards your dreams at all times. Now here's this. If you went over to that light switch and flipped it on and there was no electricity, would you say, oh my gosh, there's no more electricity in the world? No, you would say, I need to readjust to the electricity. I need a new light bulb. I need to rewire to the electricity. And that's exactly what I want you to do with your dreams, because so often, sadly, when people are advancing towards their dream and they hit an obstacle, they actually do think their dreams are gone forever, but they're not. You just need to readjust to them, reconnect to them, okay? Advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. Everybody needs a direction to walk towards. No wind is favorable for any sailor that has no direction. If that sailor has no direction, the winds and the currents and tides are going to throw them all over the place, right? Now, if you don't have direction in your life, life is going to throw you all over the place. And I have a feeling that's happened to you because I know it's happened to me. And listen, if you don't have direction, you can have a good year over and over again. And I remember when I was working with Kathleen Kennedy, she's the #1 woman producer in the world. And we were just talking about a black dress. And I said, you know, do you want to keep it? And she said, it's good. And before I could put it back in the closet, she said, Janice, wait, good is the evil to great. And I never forgot it. So if you're living a good life, let's live a great life. And if you're living a great life, let's live an extraordinary life. Don't let even your great rob you of extraordinary, right? Yes. And endeavors to live a life you are imagining. Okay, endeavor, my absolute favorite word in the world. Make an attempt, make an effort. Put your life on. Start using imagination. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. By just putting it on, you're starting to step into the energy of your dream. And that's the first step to dream building. I have this really great story to tell you, and it's all about the fact the journey is part of the dream, because most of you are waiting to have it all figured out. All you perfectionists, all you control freaks, well, guess what? You're going to stay in the driveway of life if you don't start endeavoring. It is the journey that's part of the fun of the dream. So it was 8 years ago, and my mother died suddenly. And it was one of those wake-up calls like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? And so I started thinking to myself, and I said, you know, I've always wanted to be in Europe 2 to 3 months out of the year. It's just a dream of mine. I hadn't been to Europe in years. And so I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to go over there, rent an apartment, and just see how it feels to be over there, you know, 10 days. So I decided to go to Paris, rented this little apartment. I got over there, and within 2 days, I'd never felt so lonely in my life, and I was absolutely devastated. I ended up calling my father, and I said, Dad, this is not working out at all. And he's like, Janice, your brother is in Paris right now with 90 kids. Now, my brother is Buzz of Buzz's Adventure Tours, and he takes high school graduates over to Europe for the summer for like their high school graduation trip. And he was in Paris with 90 kids. So the next day, I ended up meeting him on the Eiffel Tower lawn, went and traveled the day with him all over Paris with all these amazing kids, fell madly in love. And by the end of the day, he said, Jan, one of the kids didn't show up. I have an extra ticket. Would you like to join me? And I'm like, absolutely. So by just endeavoring, I stepped into 1 month that summer. And then by the next summer, he invited me back for 2 tours. Sorry, I have to get some water. Sorry about that, but that's reality, right? So by the next tour, the next summer, he invited me back to do 2 tours. And then a friend of mine heard that I was going to be in Europe and was getting married. And she's like, please stay and come to our wedding. So there was a gap between the tours and actually the wedding. And I went to stay with my friends who they're now my best friends, but they were just my brother's friends, and they live in the English countryside. Well, now I have a key to their home in the English countryside. And by the end of that year, I was already spending 3 months in Europe. And I still am 8 years later. I had no idea how I was going to have it all figured out. I had no idea how it was going to work out. And it was step by step. I kept on endeavoring. Making imperfect action is perfect action. So important. Okay. Then we go on to one passes an invisible boundary. Now, this is enormous. Okay. I say we have this invisible boundary in front of us, right? Actually, this invisible boundary is in our mind, created by our thoughts. Okay, behind this invisible boundary are all of our limiting beliefs and paradigms that were created by circumstance, situations, conditions, and surroundings as a child. So this can be how the dynamics were in your family, what happened with it from your parents, what your parents taught you. So you would feel that what you needed to do to feel valued, seen, loved, heard, acknowledged. You started making all these decisions that you had to be a certain way. And then so often you go into school and teachers start teaching you things. If you're smart enough or not smart enough, you know, if you're one of the popular ones then or not popular, you know, any kind of humiliation you felt on the school ground. And so these are all these limiting decisions of what you started to believe that you had to be perfect, had everything to be figured out, had to be deserving and loving and worthy. So understanding that these limiting decisions were created all through your life. Can you see how that worked when you were a little kid? Yes. And so this is behind the limiting, the invisible boundary. But what it is, those limiting decisions are not your truth. They are not your truth. They're just decisions, behaviors, and habits of thinking and actions that you created through your whole life. Once you believe they're not your truth and you let them go, you step over this invisible boundary back into your truth and authenticity that is based in that infinite power that is bigger than any circumstance, situation, or condition. That infinite power that is breathing you right this second. This is the problem, though. We've all been behind that invisible boundary for a really long time. And it's been our dominant thought pattern that we needed to be perfect, that we weren't good enough, we didn't have enough education, we needed to do this and be this way to be loved, acknowledged, and valued. And that's not our truth. This is where our egos wanted to keep us small. This is where we become paralyzed in life because we believe if we don't have it all figured out, we can't go forward. This is when we thought, oh, we failed once, we'll never fail again. This is taking every childhood wounding and believing it's our truth, but it's not. So what we want to start doing is getting conscious with our thoughts, just like Thoreau said. And once you get conscious with your thoughts and go, is that my truth? No, because your truth is on the other side of that invisible boundary, tapped into that point of power within you, that infinite intelligence that's keeping all the galaxies in perfect alignment. That infinite intelligence that takes an acorn and grows it into an oak tree. That infinite intelligence where you are powerful, you're in clarity, you're in pure joy, creativity, abundance, brilliance, where you are feeling solid in who you are. That infinite intelligence, again, that is breathing you right this second. You are one with it. Because when you claim this partnership on that new level, all sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. Because why? You are in that divine flow, aligned with that infinite intelligence that is making everything work in alignment with you. That's when big, huge no's become enormous yeses. That's when things fall out of the blue for you. That's when somebody calls you and say, I have a great opportunity for you. Has that ever happened to you? I know it has, because that's when you're on that other side of that invisible boundary, aligned with that truth and authenticity, that power, that brilliance, that God within you. I call it God. You call it whatever you want. Source, universe, spiritual self, power greater than yourself, whatever you call it. Just know that you are one with it. You are in pure partnership with it. And when you start claiming it on a new level, that's when life just opens up for you. And that's when you're in the flow and everything just starts happening. It's amazing and magical. And you are deserving and worthy of it. Because then one begins to meet with success unexpected in common hours. Common hours is common thinking. It's behind that invisible boundary. When you are letting the outside world determine who and what and how you are, when you're allowing all the conditions outside of you to tell you how you can be and what you can have in life, that this is it. We're in front on that invisible boundary, and we are in connective thinking. We are connected to that source, that infinite intelligence, bigger than any condition or situation or circumstance outside of you. That's when you are truly living in that flow of life and connecting with your brilliance, your massive intelligence, creativity, fun, happiness, joy, brilliance, passion. And that's where you want to be, in that connected thinking, not allowing the outside circumstances. And we got a lot of outside circumstances and conditions right now wanting to tell you who you are and what you are. Those are all those conditioned, limited thinking, limited decisions that you made as a child, believing that you had to be a certain way to determine who and what and where you can go in this life. But it's not a truth any longer, right? Exactly. Because this is the problem. The problem is never in the problem. The problem is always in the thinking of the problem. Because when you are in that finite world, it's a finite world behind that invisible boundary, right? You're in that finite world. You're looking at everything as a problem. But let me tell you, whatever you focus on expands. So if you're looking at a problem, guess what? It's going to expand. But when you're in front of that invisible boundary, you are in the infinite where everything is possible. You're not looking at anything as problems. You have situations that all have solutions already made up for them. It's about you aligning back with that truth and authenticity, that infinite power within you, to align with the solutions. Again, we don't look at things as problems, because problems, if we look at them, expand. Write this down. Whatever you focus on expands. Do you want to focus on a problem, or do you want to focus on the solution? And knowing if you're focusing on the solution, you are in that world of the infinite. So trust me, opportunities, situations, and answers are going to come to you quicker than you can possibly imagine. And the problem is always in the thinking of the problem, because this is it. At all times, you can only have one thought, okay? You either are going to be in love, which is connective thinking to that source that is breathing you right this second, or you're going to be in fear, okay? This is what it looks like. Love, the infinite power within. Everything that is in our perfection and our oneness with the power breathing us. Again, call it whatever you want. Source, universe, Holy Spirit, spiritual self, God, whatever it is, claim it on a new level. Or you're going to be in fear, which is that wounded child that made all those decisions in the past and that is actually running your life right now. Everything that is not of our authenticity, it's our limiting belief system and paradigms created from the world we live in. So can you see, by the world you lived in as a child and growing up, and every single wounding time through your whole life, you made decisions. And those decisions are still running your life because they've created patterns and habits of behavior, okay? And this is what it can look like. You can look like you're a victim. You feel stuck, self-doubt. I know I've had self-doubt, still do, still working on it as always. It's a progress, always in motion. You feel isolated, lack, what would people think, blame. What if I fail? Oh my gosh, perfection out the door, right? Perfection is a fear-based experience. Anxiety, abandonment, stress, resentment, comparison, unlovable, betrayal, living in regrets, self-critical, that self-critical mind that's always demanding something from you, totally out of alignment, totally in fear. It's, oh my gosh, it can go crazy. Worry, shutdown, approval seeker, feeling rejection, thinking things aren't possible. Has anybody felt paralyzed out there in fear? Paralyzed because they can't figure things out? Paralyzed because you don't know what to do? Paralyzed because you are just stuck in the worry, doubt, fear, lack, scarcity? Yeah, it's all out there. So what we want to do is not have judgment on ourselves anymore. This is the #1 rule of transformation. Compassion. Having compassion for yourself, because understanding when you are in fear, you're suffering. Why do you want to beat yourself up more? Have compassion for yourself. So what you want to do is even put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath, because the breath brings you back down to the moment, because all these fears are based in the future or based in the past. Okay? The alignment is in the present moment of the now. So you want to breathe into that place, back into that alignment of that infinite intelligence within you, that God within you, and know what your truth is, that that is your truth. And then you step into the place of love. Inspiration, confidence, abundance, compassion for yourself so you can have compassion for others. Openness to receive that infinite to work through you, as you, and for you. Oh my gosh, inner peace and laughter and deserving and connection. Pure connection with yourself first so you can have authentic connection with everybody outside of you. Creativity, passion, worthiness, clarity. Knowing you're in this beautiful alignment with the truth of who you are. And living that abundantly. It's so beautiful. I love it. Because this is it. We are not human beings on a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings on a human journey. Okay? Knowing that you are a spiritual being connected to this infinite intelligence. Now, this is law. This is quantum physics. We are all energy. So you are the same exact energy, as I said, keeping the galaxy in perfect alignment. Breathing you right now, you're the same energy. So the more you claim that oneness, that partnership, and then you go and live into this physical world where there's so much going on, and there's always going to be so much going on, and it can look like this. Yeah, it looks a little crazy, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And know that these Time magazine articles are from 30 years ago. So this is what it is. It's always going to be happening outside of us. The craziness is always going to be happening. And it's the question is, what is your beingness within the crazy? What are you going to choose? Knowing you can only have one thought at a time, either in connective thinking or conditioned thinking. Look at the conditions can be crazy, right? So it's about taking that next step into being conscious about your thoughts. And who do you want to be in this life? You want to be connected to that love, that light, that truth, that joy, that happiness, that abundance, that power, that clarity, that inner brilliance. Tapping into your genius, right? Because as I said, things are always going to happen. So I know for myself, I always want to be the best version of myself. And I was listening to an interview with Neil Donald Walsh, and he said, the agenda of your soul is to recreate yourself anew in every moment into the next grandest version of the greatest vision you ever held of yourself. Isn't that beautiful? When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my lighthouse. Every thought, every action, is it in my next grandest version? So I have this story to tell you. I still work with my brother because it's one of my biggest passions to inspire and motivate kids. I work with him as the tour manager for Buzz's Tours every summer. And there's one day that has some conditions, big, huge conditions. So we are traveling, and we travel with up to 210 kids so far on trains through Europe. And so this one day, we're in the coast of Italy, and we're trying to get to Florence. And so there's 3 trains, and we get off at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, hold up that tower, and then pop onto another train and go into Florence. There's no reservations. They're all regional trains. It's our biggest travel day, and these kids come out terrified. And so this is it. I know that day, and this is every day of my life, I want to give everybody the grandest version of my life, aligned with that truth, aligned with that power, that love, that joy, that connectiveness. And this day, especially, I level it up because I know my beingness in this day, when I step foot on that train platform, can be the ripple effect to every single one of those kids. And that's the power you have within you also. You have the power to be the most magnificent ripple effect in every part of your life. It's about choosing your beingness at all times. Because as I said, you can either be in fear or love. And when you're in fear, write this down, you are in reaction. So anytime you are reacting in life, you are in fear. Okay? Whatever you put out, you will get back. This is quantum physics again. Okay? Whatever energy you put out into the world, guess what? You're going to get it right back. So anytime you're in reaction, you're in fear. Whenever you are in love, you're actually responding. Okay? And this is all energy. So it's about us taking responsibility, ability to respond at all times. So this is a perfect example. So as I said, I'm still working with my brother, and I had this great idea when we had 210 kids. I'm like, that's a lot of kids to get some information out to. So I decided to create a Facebook group that had all the maps, all the history, all the itineraries, everything that kids could possibly need to really create the best day ever, every day for 23 days. And it was amazing. I loved what I did. I really created a brilliant experience for the kids. And so then for some reason, I slipped out of my alignment and went into a place of, well, feeling not valued, or feeling like maybe the parents don't really see what we're doing. I went into a place of fear that I wasn't being acknowledged. And so I ended up going to my brother, and I'm like, we really need to have the parents see what we're doing. We need to put all of this up for the pre-trip meeting, because the parents really need to see, everything, all the extra effort we put out for their kids. And my brother was like, no. And it was such a harsh no that I went, thought to myself, what does that have to do with me? And so I thought, what energy am I bringing into this conversation? So I thought about it, and if you heard it, there was a lot of fear. So anytime you use the word need, behind the word need is fear of not getting what you think you're needing, okay? So need, should, have to, all based in fear, all push energy. Can you see how that happens? Push energy. And so many people have said to me also, he's not loving me like this. They always give me an idea. He's not giving me enough love. And I said, well, whatever you're not getting, you're not giving. And they would always say, oh, that's impossible. I said, well, think of the love you're giving to him right now. Is it based in true love and alignment? Or is it based in push energy and fear? Right? Exactly. And so what I ended up doing, knowing that I was in complete push energy, and I backed up and I cleaned up my energy. And how you clean up your energy is like, taking that deep breath, realigning back with that spiritual self, the truth of who you are, and then asking yourself, what would I love? Well, what I would love is just the parents to see that we just set these kids up to have the best day ever for 23 days straight. So I did an experiment. I went back to my brother and I said, I would absolutely love for the parents to see, what we're doing for the kids, how we're setting them up for the best, 23 days straight, and how we're inspiring and motivating them. What about putting it up in the pre-trip meeting? And he's like, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. Yes. Right? It's all about energy. It's all about energy. And the energy is either based in fear or love at all times. It is so powerful. So understand, if you're in any kind of reaction, you are in fear. Before you do anything, just back up, line back up into that truth of who you are, back into that point of power within you that is based in love, confidence, brilliance, compassion, generosity, and then have the conversation. It's so powerful. Oh my gosh, I love this. So this is another really great trick for you, okay? So my father gave us this trick a long time ago. I'm the youngest of 5, and we'd tattle on each other all the time. And anytime we'd come in and tattle on somebody, he'd said, well, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. So here's the question. Anytime you're pointing your finger at any situation or any person, or even yourself, ask yourself, what fear am I in? You are normally always in a place of fear, because any judgment is out of alignment. Let me say that again. Any judgment is out of alignment. So be aware, what are you in fear of? Are you fear of not being valued, seen, acknowledged? That's usually the top 3. That's why I put that out there. And so again, the judgment, what are you judging? And this is one thing I always do. Have I ever done what that person's done before in any way possible? Usually, yes. So what that allows me to do is step back into a place of compassion and be able to step out of the judgment, okay? And then history, so important. So often what we do is bring all the history, all the evidence that we have of the future of that person or that situation, work situation, family situation, and plop it right into the present moment. Do you see how that works? So you're going to take every situation. If you're not liking your job right now, you're going to take every bit of information, what you don't like about it. Remember, what you focus on or look for, you will find. So if you're looking for evidence to not be good, you will find it. If you're looking for the negative, guess what? You'll find it. Looking for the positive, you'll also find it. So often, if you're not happy with your job or anything, you're actually looking for everything that is negative. And then every single day you go to work, you bring it in and throw it right into the present moment. It's so powerful. And this is really powerful also with people. So often we don't give people a chance because remember, we're energy. And I say I'm 50% responsible for everything going on in my life. Well, I'm 100% responsible when it has to do with another person. It's 50-50. I love that. So I have the choice at all times to either continue grabbing evidence of somebody's who stepped out of alignment, stepped out of their best version of themselves, or I have also the powerful ability to see them in their greatness and help them step back into their greatness. So for example, I travel with my brother for 2 to 3 months sometimes, and I have a ton of evidence from the past from him, right? So there's going to be times he's going to step out of his best version. And why? He's probably stressed. He's probably in fear, which they normally always are. And this is it. I could either bring evidence and support his bad behavior maybe, or I could see him in his greatness. I can start blessing him with his truth. I can actually hold a sacred space for him to allow him to line back up. This is powerful. It takes work. It takes building a muscle, because this is it. At all times, we are building a spiritual muscle. We're building that spiritual muscle back into our truth and authenticity, that we can also help other people do the same. You see how that works? This is powerful. I love this little tool. Okay, so this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So I'm going to ask you to play full out. Yes, because this is it. How you do anything in life is how you do everything in life. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath. Okay? Just take a deep breath. And I want you to go back to a time. So go back to a time where you felt joy. Go back to a time where you felt powerful. Now, it doesn't have to do with the actual event. We're talking about the feeling state you're creating here. Okay? Go back to a time where you just felt passion in your life. How does it feel? To feel so alive, passion-filled, powerful. You have a sense of freedom within you. Breathe into that. Breathe into that feeling state. Go back to a time where you felt massive confidence. Go back to a time where you felt worthiness, like you felt like, I am worthy of this greatness in life. Where you felt peace-filled, grounded in clarity. You felt this knowingness within inside of you. Where you felt like you were just in that flow of life. Everything was easy. Now I want you to put your hand on your heart. And I want you to just take a deep breath into this feeling state, creating the energy of all of this power, clarity, groundedness, joy, happiness, strength, courage. That calm powerfulness that was just grounding you into that flow of life. Feel it, level up every single feeling right this second. Take a deep breath. Really feel it. because this is your truth and authenticity. This is what's on the other side of that invisible boundary, where you are aligned with that infinite intelligence, that God, that truth, that source within you, where you are feeling all powerful, all aligned in your magnificence, your glory, pure purpose and passion and power and brilliance and courage and creativity and talent. This is your truth. So I want to bring you back to the room right now, and I want you to write down, how did it feel? And I want you to do it in your I ams. I am powerful. I am courageous. I am aligned with the spirit within me. Through that, I am in the divine flow. I am aligning with all my abundance right this second. Through that point of power, I am one with. I am confidence. I am clarity. I am deserving. I am worthy. I am enough. I am pure brilliance and genius. I am massive creativity, and it feels joyful, happy, expansive, enthusiastic. Because this is it. You want to create as much new evidence into the truth of who you are. Leaving go all those limiting beliefs and behaviors and thoughts from before, because you got a ton of evidence of that. Let's create the new. So take your time, write these down as much as you can. How did it feel to feel so powerful? I loved it. You know, claim that power within you, that God, that source, that truth. You are one with it. It's not outside of you. It is in you. It is partnership, one with you. Okay? You can always add to these, okay? You can always add to these. Okay. I love this quote from Neville Goddard. Take the most marvelous concept you can hold of yourself and assume it. Walk in it in assumption as if it were true. If you persist in it, it will harden into fact. So it's like taking all these I ams, taking the truth of who you are in that infinite intelligence, that God within you, that source, claiming it on a new level every single day, claiming those I ams at all times. It is powerful, creating that new beautiful pathway in your mind that is based in love, light, truth, connectiveness, oneness with that infinite intelligence, and the knowingness that that infinite works through you at all times. Okay, let's go on. Okay, I'm going to give you a gift at the end, and some of you have already gotten that gift, and you're already working with me through the discovery session. So we will go on to the next part, which is your life is the curriculum of your soul. Okay, knowing that everything that's going on in your life right now is the opportunity for the expansion of your soul. You either have a choice to look at it as a victim, or you can look at it as it's an opportunity to grow into your truth and authenticity on a new level. And this is how we do it, using your longings and discontents. The only reason people are miserable is because they focus on their longings and discontents. What happens to what you focus on? It expands. What we want to do is use our longing and discontents, figure out what we're not happy with, figure out what we'd like more of, and put them into our dream of what you would love. Now, if you put them into your dream for what you would love, then guess what? You have a direction to confidently walk towards, correct? If you look at the longing and discontent and pop a tent there, and that's exactly what we're not wanting to do, you just want awareness. We cannot change anything we are not aware of. So you look at your discontents. What are you not happy with? And go, what would I love instead? What are you longing for? Put it in your dream. These are powerful, sacred tools now for you. You don't use them to take you down the downward spiral. You actually use them to take them up to the upward spiral. Okay? So powerful. And how do you do this? Notice what you're noticing. Your number one tool going forward. Conscious thinking, just like Thoreau, okay? Notice what you're noticing at all times. A friend of mine said to me, gosh, Janice, it's a lot of thinking. And I thought, you're thinking anyways. Are you going to think by default or by design? Well, if you're with me, you're thinking by design at all times. Always conscious with your thoughts. Notice what you're noticing at all times. Am I in fear? Am I in love? Am I in conditioned thinking or am I connective thinking? At all times, knowing you can only have one thought. So you better think about what you're thinking about, right? Absolutely. So this is what I'm going to have you do. We have 4 major domains we're going to be working with: relationship, health and well-being, vocation, time, money, and freedom. So just give yourself a quick check. How are you in all these domains? Okay, just a number 1 through 5. 1, needing attention, because why? We do not judge ourselves anymore. And 5, being really good for right now and knowing there's always a good, there's always a great, and there's always extraordinary. Okay, and so we just want to focus on 1 or 2 right now. All right, and so you're probably wondering, how do we get our results? Well, guess what? I have a results formula for you. All of our results come from our thoughts, whether you like it or not. Our thoughts cause our feelings. That's that emotional state. Our feelings cause our actions, and our actions cause our results. So think about it. If you're going into a business meeting and your thoughts are, oh, this isn't going to work out for me, you know, I don't have all this, there's people in there that are better than me, all that lack, scarcity, fear, and doubt, and then also bringing the history of what's happened before into supporting these thoughts of doubt, scarcity, and fear, what do you think your feeling's going to be? Lack, scarcity, fear, doubt, worry, lack of confidence, right? So what do you think your action's going to be? Not really good. And guess what? Remember, however you are in your actions, people are going to react to them. So if you're reacting in lack, that's all they're going to see. And then your results, not that great. So think about it. If you had thoughts aligned to that truth, that source within you, confidence, clarity, groundedness, you felt powerful, what are your feelings going to be? Creating that emotional state, which just ends up creating energy that is then put into your actions. So your actions in that business meeting now are going to be on fire, purposeful, grounded, brilliant. What are your results going to be? Right? Exactly. So our thoughts cause our feelings, cause our actions, and cause our results. Now, 98% of the world do not want to believe this. Okay? They want to believe that their actions cause their results. And that is not true. And this is the law of cause and effect. Okay, so this is science. It is true. Everything is created twice, first in thought and then into form. And you know, really, it's not our thoughts that cause it, it's our causes that cause our thoughts, okay? Because I'm not good enough, because I'm not worthy, because I don't have enough money, because I'm not intelligent enough, because I failed before, I'll fail again, because if I don't have it all figured out, it's not going to work out, because if I'm not perfect, I won't be loved. Do you guys have some becauses out there? Yeah, we all do. Because, right? And that's what's sabotaging you. That's what's paralyzing you. That's what's keeping you small, is all of your becauses. And this is it. Your history does not define your destiny. Each and every one of us have a story, but we're not our stories. At every single moment, by thought, you can create a new story for yourself. So I want to read this to you. So every one of us have this thing we travel everywhere with, and it sounds like this. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I'm completely at your command. Half of the things you do, you might just as well turn over to me, and I'll be able to do them quickly and correctly. I'm easily managed, but you must be firm with me. Show me exactly what you want, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant to all great men and women, but alas, I have made failures of all those who are failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though I work with all precision of the finest machine you know, and all the intelligence of the smartest person you've ever met. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me. I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy every dream you have. Who am I? I am your thinking. Yeah. Pretty crazy, huh? Understand. Our thoughts create everything. So you can create a new story right this second. Because your results never lie, everybody. So pay attention. Look at your results. Don't focus on them, become aware of them, and then what would you love instead? And start working on that right now, because you can create a new story right this second. Okay, this is my next favorite part, dream building principle number 1, designing a dream. Clarity is power. Of course, if you have clarity, then you have an easy way to confidently walk towards. And this is what I want you to do. If you don't have clarity, just be open and curious. No judgment. We judge ourselves so much because society demands so much from us. It's like, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. What does that look like? That's that finite world. There is no infinite out there showing us what's already available to us. So if you start not being in judgment to yourself, having compassion, and be open and curious, I promise you, ideas and opportunities are going to land in your lap faster than you can possibly imagine, because it happens to all my clients. Be kind. Start thinking back. What brought you passion? What have you loved to do before? What did you just totally felt on fire about, and energetic and enthusiastic about? That's what I did when I was changing my career. I started just getting curious. So that's what I would love for you to do. Be kind. Society is killing our dreams because we are allowing society to demand us to figure it out. It's not our job to figure it out. It's our job to align with it. Okay? And so this is what I would love for you to do, is ask the quality of questions, because the quality of questions will give you the quality of life you live. So if you think about it, if there's a Google bar, the infinite intelligent Google bar, right? And infinite intelligence is like the internet with all the answers. You give direct questions. What will bring me closer to my purpose and passion? What can I do with what I have right in front of me to bring me closer to my dream? How can I align with my authenticity to the next level and align with my divine flow out there? Do you see how that works? Being very direct with your questions. I do it every single morning. I do it throughout the day. What is my next rendezvous to take me to the next level of my dream? I love it. I can't wait for that rendezvous, because I know I'm aligned with an infinite intelligence, with an infinite and abundant universe out there waiting to show me how it all works. Do you see how that works? So get very clear on your questions. Okay, moving on. And this is what is so important. So often society says we should be happy with what we have. Yes, absolutely. And what else? So be grateful for what you have and always ask, what else? We're the only ones who put limitations on ourselves. The universe surely does not. And this is what's so important next. Whenever you think of anything, you ask yourself, what would I love? What would I love for my dream? What would I love to be doing in business? What would I love to have in a relationship? What would I love to be experienced within my own beingness? What would I love is up here. That's where your dreams are. What do I need, should, and have to do based in fear? And also understanding, then we're using only what we know up to the present moment of what we can have. But there's an infinite world out there about us lining up to that. So what would you love? Put you on that different vibration. And again, it's all about energy. It's all about the vibration. What would you love is so important for everything. Okay? So this is really huge to a lot of you control freaks, perfectionists, and even me included. We're now putting the how on hold. Okay? Our negative belief system sabotages us in needing to know the how. How many of you have not gone towards your dreams because you couldn't figure out the how? And you got stuck before you could even start? Exactly. So this is how it works now. Since we are working all with energy, and we're working, taking our discontents, figuring out what we would love, putting them into our dreams, what we do then is start asking the question, what would be my next best step? Knowing the divine infinite intelligence out there is laying it out for you if you stay in alignment with it. It's powerful. I know you have been in situations where things have fallen into your lap perfectly. And you go, how did that happen? That was just so easy. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. If you choose to let go of the how, normally the how is stuck in all of our limiting decisions that we need to. And this was me. I got stuck years and years ago because I thought if I didn't have it all figured out, it's not going to work. Well, did you see, if I have it all figured out, there's no part of the infinite coming in and showing how it can be bigger, better, and possibly easier, right? So it's having that new level of trust. So here's a perfect example. I had a client come to work with me and she said, I hate my job. I want you to help me find a new job. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not how it works, but we're going to first start working on your thinking and create a new level of confidence underneath of you, you know, and that's what comes with the Dream Builder program. So you can step confidently in the direction of your dreams. And so after a while, she figured out that she was actually focusing on so much of the negative that she forgot all about the positive, and she ended up loving her job again. And she loved it so much and was performing at such a higher level that they gave her a promotion and asked her to teach this program to people here in Los Angeles. And she was like so thrilled and came and told me. And then she was saying, oh, you know what? And I'm like, what? She goes, oh, nothing. And I said, okay, so that's not how it works with me. What are you thinking? She goes, well, I was really hoping to be able to pop over to the London office for a while and, get my fix of the UK. And, but that's not going to work because they've already got this whole thing set up for me. And I went, wow, that's a lot of conditioned thinking. So do you see what I mean by conditioned thinking? Looking at everything already set up outside of you and thinking it's fact. It's only the appearance of fact. And say that again. All the conditions outside of you are an appearance of fact and can change at any second. Okay, statistics change all the time. Do you see how that works? So I said to her, I said, well, listen, this is it about dream building. You can keep your dream alive and say, wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to do that, and think about it and imagine, of course, imagine, just what would it feel like? Who would you be hanging out with? What other restaurants would you be going to and visiting again? What would you love to be doing out there? You could either keep that alive with no demand on when it needs to show up. If you have a demand when anything needs to show up, there's a fear of it not showing up. So you can just keep the energy alive and the fun alive, or you can use that same energy and push it down. So I said, just go have fun with it. Just start thinking about it. What would you love? What would you love? And so she did. The next week, she ended up calling me. She said, Janice, you wouldn't believe it. I said, yes, I would, because that's how dream building happens. And I'm never surprised, but I'm always in awe because it's so much fun. So she said, they called me, her company called her and apologized that she had, they had to put this teaching program on hold in Los Angeles and asked if she could go to the UK office and do it there. Yes, that easy. And then she went crazy going, oh my gosh, this is too good to be true. And then she went into worry, doubt, and fear. Well, who's going to take care of my apartment? Who's going to take care of my house? She's like, breathe. Okay, I'm going to think like Janice. I don't mind being in people's heads when it comes to dream building. And she said, I'm just going to believe it's all going to work out. I'm just going to believe my dog's going to be taken care of. My condo's going to be taken care of. Within an hour, she had somebody call her that was from the East Coast, was coming to LA for a job and doing a commercial, and said, I know you travel a lot. I was just wondering if you needed help with your dog. Yes, that's how it works. It's keeping all the belief open, not believing conditions are truth. They're just situations out there that are always changing. And staying in the place of what you would love, knowing the infinite power is always going to be dropping possibilities in front of you at all times, okay? If you choose to let go of the how, because holding on to the how is based in fear. See how that works? Even me, when I started coaching, I also wanted to be on a team and a board of directors on, some company that was helping the world and helping the planet. I just started talking about it. I had no idea what I was going to be involved in. And I didn't even know of anything. This is what I would love. I would love to be on a board of directors, and I'd love to be on a team that's making a difference in the world. Out of the blue, and I don't know about you, but my God's dressed in blue, because I got blue things coming out of the blue to me all the time. And so all of a sudden I had two opportunities to sit on the board of directors for a company that's going to help feed the poor, and another company that's going to turn plastic into electricity, which is going to help the planet. Out of the blue. So it's about staying in that place of what you would love, staying in that energetic place, because what is it? Like attracts like. So if you're in the energy of what you would love, in the believingness and the knowingness within that partnership that you will line up to opportunities, it will happen. Because again, I love it. Like attracts like. So be what you would like. Okay? So this is what I would love for you to do. I would love for you to take a moment and write out your dream, 2 minutes, okay? And I want it to be in what you would love. Guaranteed success. You don't have to know the how. Put the how on hold. And I want you to do is, I'm so happy and grateful now that, okay? So I'm going to ask you to put this video on hold because I know this is a video. Put it on pause, and I want you to put on a timer for 2 minutes, okay? And write out, I'm so happy and grateful now that I stepped into this new opportunity of this business. It was so easy. All the opportunities fell into my lap. I stayed in alignment with this infinite power. I feel so amazing. I'm powerful, confident, intelligent, at my maximum genius, creative. I'm aligning with all the best people for this company, for this business, for this opportunity. That's how you write it out. I'm in this amazing relationship where I feel so aligned with my authenticity, and I feel alive like I've never before. Do you see how that works? I'm traveling all over the world, and it feels like this. I've written a book. I've created that new program. Whatever it is, everything's guaranteed success across the board. Feel into it. And who are you? What is your beingness in all these situations? Okay, so go ahead and put this on hold and then come back. So this is what I want to tell you. Congratulations on your dream. Doesn't that feel amazing, right? Absolutely. When you get into the feeling tone of it. And this is why we step into our dream as much as possible, because we are then attracting all the opportunities to align with us to step into our dreams. And so this is what I'd like you to do. Always when you're talking about anything, you always say this or something better, okay? Because this is it. We can only think what we can think, and the infinite can give us so much more. That God, that source, that spiritual self can line up so much more for us. Because when I went to Europe, and my dream for Europe for 2 to 3 months out of the year, that was based on me thinking I was hanging out at cafes and shopping with my friends and my guy all the time, right? No, the real thing was to inspire, motivate these kids so they can create days and turn into amazing young adults, right? So it was so much bigger than I could possibly ever imagine. So much bigger. So this is what I would love for you to do. When you wake up in the morning, what would I love? When you go to work, what would I love? When you're going out with friends, what would you love? And think about it. What would you love? Connection, authenticity, laughter, joy. This or something better. So always bring in this or something better, okay? So dream builder principle number 2, deciding for your dreams. Go ahead and read this. I'll read it also. According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters are in a word. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Good research from Stanford University, and a very good resource, I would say, to tell you all you need to know is where you are to start and where you would love to go. Leave the middle to the infinite. You have to know where you are and where you're starting from, okay? Isn't that fantastic? I love that. Okay. So Bob Proctor, another one of my mentors at the Life Mastery Institute, he says this: there is a single mental move you can make which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path of incredible success. Would you like to know what it is? We have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called decision. You must decide. You must put the stake down in your ground, and no matter what, step forward, okay? So it is your decision and not your conditions. So many of you think it's, you wait for the conditions to be perfect. They're never going to be perfect until you decide they're perfect to move forward in. That determine your destiny, okay? The word decide means to cut away from. So it's thinking about, what do you get to cut away from? What old beliefs, what old decisions, what old behaviors, what old habits of being do you get to cut away from to put that stake in your ground and move forward? Michelangelo even said, when somebody said, how did you create the David? He said, the David was already there. The infinite created the David. I just cut away everything that was not of the David. And that's what your dream is all about too. Your dream is already there. It's out there. The infinite has created it. It's about you aligning with it, okay? And making that decision. So my decision was, as I said, for many years, I was a wardrobe stylist, very successful. And at the same time, my soul was screaming at me to do something more. I kept on having that question. I know there's more to life. I just know there's more to life. And there was bits and pieces where I was completely alive. And I was like, okay, I know I was alive there, but this career I'm in is not doing it anymore. Even though I loved my clients, you know, I absolutely loved them. I just knew my soul was, as I said, it was screaming to be on that massive upward spiral. And so thankfully, I started working with my brothers that fed my soul those 2 months out of the year. And then those other months were just, they were really excruciating at times, really painful. And so then all of a sudden, when I was on one of the tours, one of the kids said to me, gosh, Janice, you're in your element. And I thought to myself, I am in my element. And then so I just started asking the questions, how can I expand on this feeling? How can I expand and be more of this in my life? And, you know, I was stuck thinking, you know, I'm in this career for 25 years. I got to stay here. And so then I ended up coming home from one of the tours, and out of the blue, yes, again, out of the blue, a friend contacted me. I hadn't heard from her in 8 years. And we went out to lunch, and she ended up being a life mastery consultant. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Now, I had thought for a long time, you know, maybe I could be a life coach. I've been a life coach my whole life by just who my personality is. And I thought to myself, all the other coaching programs wasn't what I wanted because they weren't based in spiritual principles. Because I do believe that there is a power within all of us that is bigger than any circumstance, situation, or condition. And so when I was introduced to the Life Mastery Institute, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm so thrilled. And then all of a sudden I went, oh my God, what am I, crazy? Changing my career at 53 years old? I can't do that. So I actually went back to shopping for that fall season. And then came December 31st, and this was New Year's Eve day. And I was sitting in my room in my little sacred space, my beautiful chair, and I was sitting there thinking about the next year in so much pain at the thought that I knew I was not living my true life. And then I heard these words, what goes to regrets are going to surround your deathbed. And I was like, none. I put my stake in the ground. I made that phone call. And thankfully, I also had to go to the Dream Builder program. So I built this new, powerful, grounded foundation and confidence, clarity, spirituality, aligned with that brilliance within me. Because listen, I needed it because I was changing my whole career at 53 years old. And listen, what happens when you change anything, fear, doubt, scarcity come up until you're in an amazing program that can help you, support you. And I had a coach. It was so powerful. And that's why I'm in front of you now. I'm so happy and blessed that I made that decision. I walked through that fear, doubt, scarcity, building that powerful new groundedness within me. And I'm able to live the life I absolutely love living. So that was my decision. And this is it. No new process can begin and no new path can be forged until you decide a decision has been made. You must decide. Yeah, you must decide. So some of you that are on this video have already decided, and I say to you, congratulations. So happy to be working with you. And so Dream Builder principle number 3, befriending your fear, because this is it. Fear is part of dream building. If there is not fear in what you are doing, then you are just having a list of goals, okay? The reason why dream building is so powerful is because you are expanding, you're changing, you're moving. You are not the same person in dream building. So there is fear that's going to want to take you out, okay? Because when you start going after your dreams, it's going to look like this. I've got this, right? That's how I felt. And then it's like, what if I fail? And society has put such an awful, awful definition on failure. And guess what? We learned everything by failing. You even learned how to walk by failing. It's not like you fell down when you were walking a kid and said, oh, I failed. I'm not walking anymore. No, you figured it out. Got up, figured it out, got up, figured it out. So this is it. Your spiritual self has no evidence of failure. It only has evidence of feedback. Failure is feedback. Let me ask you this question right this second. Take one failure, just one. Did you learn something? Did you grow? Did you get new information on how to do it better the next time? Yes, exactly. So it's no longer a failure. You can take all your failures from your past and write a new story for them, because it's no need to think and worry about failure anymore. That's an old limiting decision and belief you had from your past. Got it? Okay. So great dream builders are willing to fail and rise again, because why? They do not believe in failure. I love it. You think there's so many famous people out there that do not believe in failure. And there's so many books that will tell you about it. So it's like, give it up. Don't hold on to your failures like they're honors, badges of honor or something. It's like, be smart, turn them around, make them powerful, make them great lessons. Look at them as if, if you had to teach somebody else how not to do that, what would you teach them? Well, great, you just become a teacher. You become a mentor. You become an example. You become a leader. We're all our greatest failures, and we're all our greatest success stories at the exact same time, right on the other side of that. So powerful, because this is it. You give everything the power it holds. Everything. You give every situation at work the power it holds, everything that happens in a relationship the power it holds, all of it. Nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. These were huge to me. These were life changers to me. So whenever I went into reaction, I went right away back to myself and go, whoa, wait a second. Where am I giving my power away? Wait a second. Why am I giving that so much meaning? Oh, no, not going to go there. And you can do the same thing. So this is really huge. This is a life changer for me. Fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. It's part of it. It's just like I said to you, oh, that shirt looks good on you. Oh, that dress looks good on you. Yep, fear looks good on you too, because I know you're growing. I know you're on your green growing edge. I know you're going after your dreams. So bring it on. I call mine like little gremlins from that movie way back when. They come out of the closet and nip at my ankles. I go, thank you. Yes, I'm growing and changing. Every time my audience gets bigger, from 100 people to 500 people I have to speak to, do you think fear comes up? Yes. And I go, thank you. Yes, I'm expanding. And I'm stepping into my dream no matter what. And that's exactly what you're going to do. So this is it. When fear arises, what can you do? You're going to reconnect back to your dream. Because anytime you're in fear, doubt, worry, or scarcity, number one, you're in the how. Number two, you lost direction of your dreams. So you're going to go around. It's like I sometimes say, it's like swirling around the top of that toilet bowl. Not good, not good. So what you're going to do is, first and foremost, reconnect back to that power, that truth, that authenticity, that infinite intelligence, that God, that source, that brilliance, that genius within you. Connect back to that. Through the breathing, hand on heart, saying your I ams. And then just asking yourself, what if everything works out? What if this is what it looks like while it is working out, right? What if? And then you're going to go back to that person that you touched in that dream you were writing about. What would that person tell you to do next? Right? Asking that person, connecting with that infinite intelligence within you also, asking that question, what is the next best step to take me closer to my dreams? Give your time to self to listen, and then put it, and by when? Not with pressure, but just go, yes, I'd love to have it done by then. See the difference of like, I need to have it done by then, I have to have it done by then, that's that push energy. No, I'd love to have it done by then. Well, guess what? That's a pull energy. Your dream is actually helping you and pulling you in the direction to make it easier. Good? Good. Okay, so this is it. You're in your comfort zone now and you just created this big, beautiful dream. That's okay. Asking the question, what can I do with what I have right in front of me to take me closer to my dreams? Connecting with that infinite intelligence, connecting with that truth of who you are. Whatever your belief system is, I don't really care. You have one because it's breathing you right this second. And it's created you, and you are one with it. Start claiming it on the next level and step into your dreams. Notice what you're noticing at all times. Am I in love? Am I in fear? Am I in connected thinking, or am I in conditioned thinking? Knowing that you are worthy and deserving of everything that's out there for you. And just claim it through your I ams. Gratitude. at all times is another one of your most powerful tools. Gratitude brings you back down to the moment. Whatever you are grateful for, you are expanding. Because why? Whatever you focus on expands. Celebrate yourself with every single thing you do. Go out and create the most amazing, abundant life because it's out there waiting for you. Somebody just said to me today, oh, the universe showed up for me today. And I went, nope, you showed up for the universe. So whatever you can do or dream, you can. Begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And again, I'm sending you this video because I believe you're deserving and worthy of living a life you absolutely love living. Put that stake in the ground, step forward, and know that that power within you, that beauty, that glory, that magnificence, that love, that light, that confidence, that knowingness is going to lay out your divine plan step by step. I promise. So go have a super amazing day. And I can't tell you how much I love being here with you. And I look forward to working with you. Have a great day.